Welcome in, guys, to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video. And in this video we are going to be talking about the lore of Andrea. Andrea is a main character first encountered in issue 2 of the Walking Dead comics. She was a triantagonist from volumes 9 to 28, and if you don't know what that is, she was one of the main 3 characters in those volumes. And Andrea is the oldest sister of Amy, and a tough and very skilled woman, being very talented with firearms, and becomes one of the group's key defenders because of that. Once the Atlanta camp fell and she was faced with death of her sister and former relationship with Dale, who both later adopted Ben and Billy after their father's death. After the deaths of Billy and Ben and later Dale, she mourned and moved on, forming a romantic relationship with Rick and becoming the mother figure to his son Carl. Andrea was one of the first survivors from the camp at the outskirts of Atlanta to truly adapt to the new apocalyptic world. She quickly became one of the most useful and utilized members of the group. Her most prominent skills is her proficiency as a sharpshooter. Throughout the series, this has come in handy against both the living and the dead, being one of the most lethal members of the group. She has also at many times taken up the role of teaching other survivors how to shoot, like Tyrese at the prison and various members of the Alexandria community. Because of this skill, she often has to take up as a position as the lookout for the group. Andrea has been consistently resolute despite all the tragedies that have occurred throughout the series. She is brave and loyal to her allies. Not only is she willing to risk her life for her allies, she often goes out of her way to do so. The most notable example of this is when she returns alone to help protect the members of the community who remained at the prison for the assault led by the governor. A more recent example would be her risking her life to save Eugene when he found himself surrounded by walkers. Andrea has been in a long-term apocalyptic relationship with Dale and then Rick Grimes. She also took adoptive motherly roles for Ben and Billy, and now has become a mother figure to Carl Grimes. Pre-apocalypse. Not much is known about Andrea's life prior to the outbreak began, except that she had a younger sister, Amy, and worked as a clerk at a law firm after graduating from college. What we know about Andrea is she was one of the strongest leaders in this Walking Dead group, which is why you see her as one of the shooting trainers and one of the most fierce allies of Rick Grimes as they brave the apocalyptic world together. Some of us may want to know what happened to Andrea and how did Andrea come to a uncertain end. So what happened was Andrea was bitten, saving Eugene. Okay, after a massive walker herd swarmed Alexandria, Andrea and a group of other survivors, including Magna, Eugene, and Yumiko, tried to lead the walkers away. Eugene and Andrea led a large portion of the herd toward the ocean. Eugene attempts to leave more of the walkers away with the horn, but Andrea is reluctant. Eugene succeeds in getting the horn and attempting to lead the walkers away, but in doing so, surrounded and thrown from his horse, he vehemently tries fighting the undead horde off before Andrea swoops in to rescue. The two, with the help of Magna and Yumiko's sniping skills, manage to break free of the herd, but not without cost. Andrea and the other stare in shock as a small wound on her neck from a bite of a walker. She returned with Magna and a group to Alexandria, only to find Sherry accidentally killed by Rick. Sweaty and weakened, she falls before Rick, who discovers her bite. Rick cries as he realizes Andrea has been bit. She apologized before she passed out, and Rick screams for help. Andrea dies during that night. Rick tearfully picks up his gun and points it at her head, but cannot bring himself to shoot her, and throws it back down on a nightstand. Rick hugs Andrea's body, and she can't do anything because now Andrea has suddenly turned. So Rick again picks up his gun at the battle. It gets knocked away, and then he picks up his knife and he stabs Andrea in the head, ending this once beautiful soul. Despite Andrea dying well before civilization was fully brought back from the brink of destruction, her legacy lives on as one of the primary foundations that will lead to various communities joining together under the Commonwealth. In addition, her adoption of Carl would lead to him honoring Andrea by naming his daughter after her. And there you have it. This is the story of Andrea and what happened to her in the Walking Dead comics, and how her role as a very strong leader and a very strong fighter plays into her entire makeup. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. This your boy JustCMTexx. Peace.